Alright, welcome to the first JNCIE SP study session of the day. I kind of wanted to start a little bit earlier, but I decided to take it a little bit easier today because I did the mock exam yesterday. It was about 7 hours. I have a legit 7-hour video posted. So I think today all I'm going to need to do is maybe an hour. If I can get 2 hours in, that would be ideal, but I think I'm going to give myself permission to just do an hour. At the very least, just an hour right now, and then maybe some more time later. But it's a little bit up in the air what I'm going to do. It's definitely going to be a code snippet video in the code snippet playlist. But I can definitely do the Anki flashcards. I think that's always going to be a good place to start. But what I'd like to do in addition to that is go through the answer key and make code snippets from the answer key. So maybe not necessarily in Anki, but just kind of somewhere. I'll probably, yeah, so let's do this. Yep, create and share. We'll do lab challenge answer key snippets. Okay, so what I'd like to start today is just making answer key snippets to the challenge lab, and then if I've got some extra time in the hour, I'm just gonna aim for just doing an hour. I think that's very reasonable. I'll do the Anki cards, and if I can do a second video today, that will be devoted all to Anki cards. Okay, so this is just a demo of the iNet 0 lab guide. So I don't have all of the answers, and I don't even have all of the question. I only have the physical diagram. They didn't give me the logical diagram. I can pretty much come up with a lot of the stuff on my own, but there are some things missing from the physical diagram, such as the rendezvous point for multicast, that I think would be in the logical diagram, and that do kind of leave me a little bit high and dry. I can make my own rendezvous point, just like I can just come up with my own IP addresses, but it is information that's going to be given to me on test day. So a lot of what I'm doing here kind of requires a little bit more from me than will be required on test day. And not only that, that extra stuff that is required from me won't get me any extra points on test day. So yeah, my whole 7-hour video I did yesterday, a lot of it was just waiting for my lab to go through an unnecessary reboot, configuring things that really won't get me a lot of points on test day. Awesome, we got some new comments, so yeah, that was kind of strange. No, it totally was. I should have tested it more. It probably is route reflection. Oh, light mode? How do you enable light mode? Yeah, see, this is a good point, because when I went to savemyservers.com or savemyserver.com and built my R610, I decided to take so my goal was to just, the whole no expense spared attitude was the opposite of what my goal was. My goal was to do this as cheaply as possible. So one of the areas I decided to try to save money on was the processor. So I got, and I did upgrade the motherboard and get 12 cores, so 2 hex core processors, but I decided to get the lowest gigahertz rate. So I got the I think I might have gotten the E one. I think it was this one. I forget exactly which one it is, but it would have been one of the cheaper ones. I certainly did not get the 3 gigahertz. So I've got pretty low gigahertz. I think this is the one I got. Yeah, this would have been the one I got because it's the cheapest one. And yeah, I might have not enough gigahertz. Yeah, so he's got a single Xeon E1270. So I've got 2. I think these are Xeons. I'm not sure what they are. I might have actually gotten the $28 upgrade. I don't know exactly what I got, but I got one of these. So it's an E6545. Oh, so I do have a Xeon. So he has a, what does he have? A Xeon E31270. Okay, so this is what he's got. Okay, and this is what I've got, and I've got 2 of these working in tandem. And I got it for 23 bucks. So what's the difference? Oh, see, yeah, but his has got 4 cores. I have 12 cores. So yeah, it could be that because I did go with the cheapest option. So if anyone's watching this and wants to build their own lab, and has an extra 20 bucks, you might be better off with something like this. But this is interesting, light mode. Yeah, I mean, I have more, like with a Xeon, because he says he can run 2, but it kind of sucks. I have 12. Oh yeah, so I should only be able to run 6 with mine, because I think I have probably 6 times the or 3 times the capacity, because if he's got 4 cores and I've got 12 cores, then that is 3 times the capacity. So if he can run 2, 2 times 3 is 6. I should be able to run 6. So yeah, maybe 9 is a stretch, even though I've got significantly more power than a E31270. I've only got 3 times the power. Yeah, so I would, I think, recommend that somebody watching this, don't cheap out on your processor. God damn it. Single unit virtual routers such as VMX 14.1. They are running way faster, though they have some limitations. The QoS is not working on my configuration, and some differences in the output might occur, but as far as I know, even in the official self-study bundle labs by Juniper. And at Zero Labs, they use older versions like 14 and 15. Oh, thank you, Nicolai. This is top comment. Top comment, thank you. Top comment, thank you. Yes, it was a bit ill-advised to do the entire 6-hour mock exam without verifying my lab. Oh, my lab setup. I think my hardware. I am using I think I'm using Xeon. I think I'm using dual Xeon processors. Could be 4.9. But that only puts me at 3 times the power you've got. Alright, so I need to take a quick break. I'll be back shortly. Alright, I'm back. Big thanks to the commenter, Nicolai. I found a documentation for enabling light mode, so I think I'm going to try that. Yeah, because light mode just allows you to conserve CPU and memory when you run lower bandwidths. You will need performance mode if you want to run higher bandwidth, but in the lab there's no need to do that. Okay, so I'm still having the same issues. Let's try enabling light mode and see if that fixes it. Alright, and let's see what other options there are. There should just be... okay, so it looks like there are lots of options. I'm not sure what mode it is in now. It's probably in performance mode by default. It should tell me the default. Yeah, so the default is performance mode. I think that's probably why 14s and 15s are used, is because it doesn't have performance mode enabled by default. So hopefully this fixes my problems here. Try rebooting the forwarding plane. Okay, and I'll try enabling light mode on all of them, because if it frees up resources, just having it free up resources on one router might not free up enough resources. Okay, so we've got it in offline mode now. Okay, we've got that in online mode. Testing. So some are offline, some are online. Oh, so this one flipped back to online. This one flipped back to online as well. Yeah, if anyone would like tips on where to cut corners, I would probably recommend cutting corners on the RAM, because if I look at my RAM usage here, and unfortunately if I do the view, it won't show up on the screen I'm sharing, but you'll have to take my word for it. I'm at, oh, if I can expand it out. So with all these running, I'm only at 31.7% of my RAM capacity. And not only that, I'm not even allocating all of my RAM. I got 96 gigabytes of RAM, so I easily could have run 64. I probably could have even run 48, and then allocated like 40 to this machine. But definitely getting 64 and allocating 48 would have been totally fine. 96 allocating 64 is just only 31.4% of those 64 gigs of RAM were taken out. But my CPU, I'm running at 98%, 99%. So I definitely would recommend anyone watching this, don't skimp on the CPU. But if you want to cut costs, you can cut costs on the RAM more than you can on the CPU. CPU is non-negotiable for this. Oops, so it looks like we're at the point now where it's not responsive. Yeah, I just don't think I can run this many routers. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 routers. I'm pretty sure I had ran 8 before, without too much problem. But being at 99% RAM doesn't seem to be working. And I'm pretty sure I have 100% of RAM allocated to this virtual machine. I'll check that. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So I actually thought that this was possible, because it was possible. It was. I used to have a free trial license that allowed me to run double the virtual CPU cores. I used to have a free ESX license that allowed me to run twice as many vCPU. I know I was able to run 8 VMXs without too much trouble before the trial expired. I used to have a free ESXi trial license that allowed me to run twice as many vCPUs. I know I was able to run it without too much trouble before the trial expired. I forgot. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to pause it. I'll come back shortly. Alright, so welcome back from my extended break. I just kind of disappeared there. Yeah, we've got 9 days here, so let's try to do 5 cards right now. I guess I kind of didn't really understand how draining that was for me yesterday, so I thought I could do like 3 hours today, but it just didn't happen. One piece of good news is during the break that I took during this video, I was able to get 6 routers up and running. Somebody left a comment, and it sounds like 6 should be pretty good with the hardware I've got, but unfortunately more than 6 is probably going to be a problem. Not only that, the other problem, so if I had those 16 VCPs that you get with a trial license for ESXi, I could run 9 or 10 routers. Well, I definitely could run 8 routers without any issues. I have done that before, and even now I could probably run 8, but running 12 Cisco's with 9 VMXs, it's just not going to happen. So unfortunately that mock exam was kind of a bust, but let's see if I can go ahead and take the answer key to the mock exam and write that out in my notes, and then in addition to that, let's try to do 3 Anki cards. I think that's going to be a good goal. I did want to go take a break, and it is a super late night video. Usually I don't stay up this late, but for some reason I'm not feeling sleepy. Which is kind of concerning. Usually I don't have huge problems with that. Okay, so we've got the lab challenge answer key snippets. So let's pull up the actual lab challenge. Jump down to the solution or solutions. Or let's say a full day lab challenge. Okay, so here's the solutions to the, well, I think it is. I actually am not sure. Oh, no, it is. It is. So let's go and instead of adding it to the, I'm probably going to delete this file here. Let's add it under the actual notes that I had. Yeah, I'm just really stressed out. This exam is a big undertaking, and it's all coming to a head in 9 days, because today does not count. Okay, so yep, let's open the notes, and then I should have yep, so I should have the instructions all laid out. Yep, so the tasks laid out. So let's go and if we have answers for them, let's add them. So okay, so the first part is going to be service configuration. So let's check the answer for that. Aha, so it looks just as simple as oh, it looks like there are going to be some multiple. Oh, I see. So task 1.1 service configuration. So it's all going to come over here. The next task is centralized authentication management. So that should show up in the answer key, hopefully. Yeah. So task 1.2. So yeah. So let's add labels to the tasks as well. So this is task 1.1. Okay, and then this is the answer to the task. We'll use bullet points for that. All right. So set. Oops, that's set system services SSH connection limit 2 and set system services SSH rate limit 2. So this is kind of a waste of time because this stuff is like really easy. You just go into the SSH hierarchy, a question mark, and you read the instructions really carefully. That is the number one most important thing, to just understand what you're being asked to do. Okay, run. Oops, so this is just the show command. We'll include this as well. It's not going to get any points, but it is going to be important to make sure everything's working right. Okay, so there is more than just that in task 1.1. It's also configuring Snmp. Oops, it's going to be back up rudder, not back rudder. Alright, so the next step is centralized authentication management. So this one we don't have an answer for. We can see that we're on page 1295, but our demo doesn't include the answer to this. Luckily, I don't think this is that difficult, just pointing it at a Radius server. I really don't think there's... I'm sure I'll get at least 1 point for that section. Okay, so yep, so this is MPLS and LDP configuration. So if I had a choice, I would use RSVP instead of LDP, but it looks like they're requiring LDP. Oh, so it almost looks like this answer key is wrong, because if you have a statement like this, I'm pretty sure you need RSVP, and then you would tunnel LDP over it. So it almost looks like this, yeah, because we're enabling LDP over RSVP. So if we don't have RSVP enabled, it's not going to work. Yeah, so this answer key actually doesn't look like it has the correct answer. If you did a show MPLS LSP, your LSP would be down following this answer key, because you wouldn't have RSVP neighbors. Oh, I should probably, yeah, you know what, I'm going to, yeah, say R1, yeah, and then R2. Oops, yep, it's going to be R2 to R6. There we go. All right, lots of things to type out. If I don't get through it, I think I'm better off focusing on those configuration snippets than I am on this, because this is for the 960. Alright. We'll do the show commands as well, even though even though I won't get points for them. Oops, my desk is too high. There we go, that's better. Back was feeling sore. Okay, so it looks like we got more. Oh, nope. Yep, so this is page 415, so it's skipping down the 435. So this is the middle of verifying another task. So let's not do any of this. Yeah, unfortunately, we won't even be able to use this. We're even skipping a page here. There's no page 1446. So we'll skip all that, unfortunately. It looks like really valuable information, but it's unfortunately incomplete. Yeah, so it looks like we don't really have complete information for anything. I guess here we might, if we've got... Nah, but we don't even have the task header to this information. So this is kind of a bust. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there, but I mean, to be honest, I feel pretty confident with VPLS and with L3 VPN. I guess this L2 VPN ID is kind of surprising, but cause I'm pretty sure you can just use a VRF ID. I guess I'm not sure. But yeah, that's unfortunately this is all I get for the answer key, because I'm missing pages from the other one, so kind of left high and dry. The good news is I'm not going to be up all night doing this. So the good news is I accomplished my goal in that regard. So the next goal is going to be just to type out these code snippets and make sure they make sense. So if I read anything in the code snippet and it just doesn't make sense to me, I'm going to be looking it up quick. Okay, so I got to add back. There we go. This command. And then this command. All right. Okay, so next step will be we're gonna try to do hopefully 5 cards. Maybe 3. Last time I tried to do 5 cards, I only got a half of a card done. Okay, so it's no time to waste. Okay, so this is just simple, simple stuff here. Set system services, SSH, root login deny. Real easy stuff. Of course, during the exam, we're not going to be doing this. We're going to be doing edit, and we're going to be doing set, and use the question mark, use the help, topic SSH, help apropos, match SSH. Yeah, so we get all the set commands displayed out like this, a lot simpler. I can even go and, yeah, we can do a help apropos, pipe match set like that, and then we get all the commands in set format like that. So it's not even like you can do set and then question mark, and then you can get the full command with these placeholders here. So, and then on top of that, I can go and I can filter it down even more, match SSH, and now I can see all of the SSH related commands, host key algorithm. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. We're just going to go with root login deny. So here's everything that's available. Yeah, so authentication order, we can see it all. So this is probably something I'll make use of. We'll see what happens during the test, unfortunately. I'm feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday. Yesterday I was feeling really bad. I really walked away from that. I didn't even verify my lab setup. I completely forgot that my cron job was going to go off. I completely forgot that my license expired, meaning that I can't run that I can't run 9 routers with like 12 Cisco routers without the license and 16 virtual CPUs. I can't do that, which is really disappointing, and discovered way too late. Okay, so I don't know what. Oh, so this is DNS. So static host mapping is DNS. So let's see here. Let's give it router 1. Router 2 would be at inet 0.2. Okay, so that's the extent of the card. Let's do a commit check, but not an actual commit, because I don't want to. Yeah, because it's easier to revert with a rollback 0. Alright, so that looks good. I think this is nice and easy. I feel pretty comfortable with this. Just setting up DNS, enabling SSH. Really don't have any problem with that. If they want some special configuration like this, log out on disconnect or something, I'm hoping they'll say it in language that is clear enough to just do something like edit system and then help apropos star pipe match set pipe match like that, hopefully, and then I can just kind of pour through, or I can say like, oh, they want to log out on this, like pipe match log, and I get all the logging. I can even do like pipe match log. There we go. Now we've got a change log. We should have log out, but yeah. So hopefully. Okay, I think I'm good with this, so let's hit the easy button on that. Okay, infrastructure, authentication, lots of things to that. That would be setting up the radius. That would be enabling a user account with authentication. So let's see what pops up for this. Ah, yep. And then of course I can't forget the command set system authentication order. Otherwise, if I set up radius, it won't request authentication from the radius server, because I think it's set to password by default, so I do need to make sure I set that properly. Alright, so let's do another rollback 0, and then we'll enter this card in, set system, authentication, order, radius, and then whatever you've got. I'm just going to skip TechX Plus and assume that's not set up. Alright, so next is set system, radius, server. Okay, so this is really easy. We just point it to the server, which they'll give me in the lab instructions, and then secret, bananas, so show pipe compare, there we go, commit check. Okay, so yep, this one I'll click the easy button on that. Don't need any more practice on it. Okay, so this is my third card. So let's try to do. I'm feeling good. So let's. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. So we've got infrastructure system archive. I guess I wish I hadn't clicked the button to show it yet, because I just kind of wanted to go in my mind and figure out kind of what I thought that meant, and hopefully I would have come up with config archival. So config archival is really important. It has a backup of the configs. Duration. Interval, so you can back up the config every 15 minutes or whenever you want, every hour, every 60 minutes. Let's do it every hour, and then if something goes wrong on the device, you've got a recent backup. You're not going to want to. You're going to want to, you know, why not do it every second, you know, because it's going to be a bit of data going through. So you got to. I think every hour is reasonable, every half hour. I mean, you could do it every 15 minutes if you're really worried about what people might be doing on the device, and you're kind of concerned that they're going to harm it. I would recommend 15 minutes in that case, but I guess I would say every hour is probably what I would consider the most reasonable. Alright, so yep, let's do a commit check on that. Alright, roll back 0 and move on to the next card. And I'm going to say this is an easy button, because the exam instructions just say something like, you know, have your configs back up to this URL every, you know, 2 hours or something. It should be pretty easy and clear exam instructions, and pretty easy to figure out. And it's the kind of thing where I can just do a help apropos, match, help, match, and then backup. Or I mean, I guess I do need to know the word archival, which might be. I mean, if the lab instructions say, you know, archive the configs, that's kind of a more of a freebie. So it just depends on what the lab instructions say. You can see a pipe exclude. Or pipe. What is it? Accept class, like that. There we go. And now so we get help reference system archival. Lots of good help on that. Yeah, so if I forget the colon or something like that, so yeah, we can see the port is going to be required there, and then the path. So yeah, really clear on that. So I think I can hit the easy button. Okay, now let's do it more. Let's try to think about what this would be. So infrastructure syslog. So this is going to be the logging messages. So let's do configure private, edit system logging. Or is it just edit logging? Or edit chassis? I thought it was under system. This is all. under system. Oh, here we go. So edit system syslog. There we go. And now we've got the help menu here. So yeah, this is pretty easy, I think. Yep. So we can specify a server. We can enable timestamp formats, the custom timestamp formats. We can specify a source address, which I think is going to be necessary to specify that as loopback once our configurations start to get more and more complicated. So yeah, we can log to the console. So set console, and let's actually commit that one because yeah, so this is, and then we can filter the messages down. So let's commit that one because having those console messages might be interesting. So I guess I'm not sure what would trigger a console message. Yeah, I know on a Cisco it would be triggered by entering and exiting the configuration mode, but it looks like that's not the case for a Juniper. And not only that, I kind of am surprised that command even exists, because for me, when I want to see console messages, I just do a monitor start logging, and I think they're the same messages. I'm actually not sure what the difference is, but yeah, it looks pretty easy. Set edit system syslog. Okay, let's do a help apropos star pipe match, and then anything beginning with SET. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm feeling pretty confident in that. Let's see what is there. So it looks like we've got a whole bunch of things that I didn't look at, but it looks like all of them are under edit system syslog, which if I just question mark it out, I should be able to come up with no problem. Let's clean up the card. Let's do an edit on it, and let's change it so that all of this is under edit system syslog, and then we'll replace it. Yeah, so it's nice and cleaner and easier to read. Oops, and let's use Notepad++. Okay, so set system syslog. There we go. So there we go. We can even do edit file name, and then we can get rid of a pretty big chunk here. Oh, but we would need to do an up. So let's just not do that, because otherwise we have to do an extra up to get this set user command in there. Yeah, so this looks good to me. We will need to do a top though before the commit. Okay, so that looks good. Alright, let's change the card. Perfect. Okay, we'll show the answer. Oops, so it looks like, can I get it left justified? Looks like I can't get it left justified. I guess that's okay. It's not that confusing. It just kind of looks messy. Alright, so just like anything else that we're gonna send to a remote server, we've got to specify the remote server. Oops, and it looks like we've got to filter down the messages. So we're going to have any. The exam instructions might want that to be filtered more, but not a big deal. That's pretty easy. Feel fairly confident on that. Then of course we're going to need to set the file name. So we'll say syslog data. Oops. We also need to add. Oh, I see. So that's interesting. We've got to add facilities and levels to this as well, even though we already added it. Show pipe display set relative. Yeah, we can see we added. So that's interesting that you've got to do it to both of those commands. I'm really surprised by that. Okay, so let's go into the edit file mode for the file syslog data that we'll be sending to the remote server. Yep, so all sorts of various knobs. Let's choose a size for it. Smallest size. Files. We're going to have syslog data. Oops, so I'm not sure. Okay, so we've got to pick the number of files to be archived, which is interesting because I would think that it would just automatically. I would think it would just archive all the files. But let's just set it at 10, and then yep. Well, okay. So I think it gets archived on the actual local device, and then it does get transferred to the host as well. So you've got two places where it'll show up. Okay, so we got another knob we want to toggle here. So I think these are just choices you could make. This is of course going to depend on what the exam instructions call for. So reading those carefully is going to be absolutely essential. Files, let's just have one for this one. And let's see what archive sites is. So it looks like it's a hierarchy and not a command. Okay, so now we can add. We want the archive site to be perfect. Set archive size. So same thing we were doing before. Files. Well, let's have 20 files for this. Transfer interval. I see. So here's where we can see how frequently we want it to be sent to the remote server. Let's go back to the mode we were in, to the hierarchy we were in. Okay, so set explicit priority. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they're going to ask for all of this in the exam instructions, and if it's not read absolutely carefully, I'll be doing all that. Yep, so they're gonna ask for my username and all these messages, and then they're gonna be grading me based on what shows up on that server. I would guess. So run show log. I'm not sure what the name of the log was. Let's do an actual commit on this one and do that run show log command. Okay, so I gave it a custom name. I think it was called syslog data. Yeah, here we go. Let's see what that looks like. Aha, so now we've got much more detailed information than would show up in just the monitor log messages, I believe. Yeah, so we've got something that would show up in the monitor start interactive commands. All of that looks good. So let's take one final look at our config. Yeah, so everything looks pretty good. We can see we've only got one instance of this files command. That's because we were just overwriting these. So these are knobs. So if you toggle world readable, you are untoggling oh no, it looks like you can actually have archive sites and world readable. So you have multiple knobs toggled at the same time, but you just only are able to set your number of files once. And and you're only able to set your size once as well. But you can see it looks pretty easy. So a rollback 1 and then a commit and quit, and take a look at the help apropos for this. Okay, and then hopefully, yep, there we go. So now let's take a look at, yep, an example here. So unfortunately the example is pretty bad. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this is easy. Okay, so now this one is Snmp. Let's take a look at that. Oh, and I am starting to feel a little bit tired, thankfully, and I did want to take a walk. So let's take a look at system examples. Yep. So I remember seeing that. It kind of muddies the waters a bit. It's pretty confusing, but better than nothing in my opinion, anyway. Oh, I'm starting to feel sick. That's weird. Where'd that come from? I literally just now on a dime, like starting to feel like kind of nauseous and sick, like out of nowhere. Like, what is happening? But it doesn't feel too bad. Definitely enough to continue. And the good news is, once I hit that 17 mark, I think that will be my 3-card goal that I will have met. So let's configure Snmp. So edit Snmp community, and we'll say secrets. Okay, and then we're gonna set clients. Yep. 0, and we can give it a prefix. So we'll give it a /24. Set the authorization, which is going to be read only, and this is Snmp version 2. So this is another. Okay, so if I do read write, we're probably gonna overwrite that. Yep. So we're toggling a knob here. So this is a particular knob that has a choice of read only or read write. So we first selected read only, but then we overrode it with the selection of read write. So we've also got categories here. Oops, but it looks like, so this is trap groups. It's going to be different than configuring the community. So we'll call it traps. Okay, so now we've got all kinds of categories. We can get Snmp traps for each of these categories. So let's do it for configuration, and then we need to specify where to send these to. 0/24. Oops. So but you've got to send it to a host, unfortunately. So yeah, it's got to be sent to a individual IP address, unicast IP address. Okay. All right, so that's I don't know if that one's easy. Yeah, you know what? It seems easy. That's easy. Okay, V3 is going to be a little bit harder. Let's try to do 2 more cards. I mean, I was feeling sick, just kind of out of nowhere. I think I feel a little bit better now, so let's do. Oh God, now I feel really sick. Okay. Oh God. Okay, well this one I think I'm just gonna say that it's good when I do it, but let's do this 1 card and then that will be it. So USM stands for User-Based Security Model. Oh, yep, local engine, user. Okay, and then we've got some knobs here. We can choose what kind of authentication we want. Let's just disable authentication. Okay, so now we can. That's for the local engine. We can also set that up for the remote engine. But to do that, we're going to just specify remote engine ID. Authentication knob. Let's do authentication MD5. Okay, now this is interesting because it looks like we've got commands here that aren't under B3. I wonder if that's just a mistake in the card. Yeah, so it looks like it's a mistake in the card. No, sorry. No, it doesn't look like it's a mistake in the card. Yeah, so let's set the view, call it my view. We'll call it OID. Oh, so okay, so here's another case where I'll have to carefully read the instructions to decide which OIDs to include and which to exclude. But for now, let's move on from that. We'll call it my security, group, my group. Okay, next command, set BACM, access group, my group, default, context, prefix, security model, USM, security level, authentication, right view, and that. Okay, so I think we defined the view. So yeah, so here's the view. We defined it before. It was called. Actually, I ended up not defining the view. So. Oh, and it looks like my card stopped working. Okay, but I'm still back where I am. Okay, so we can continue. So, right view, we'll call it just my view. I don't think any of this is gonna commit, unfortunately, but all right. But let's do it anyway. So next is target address. That's gonna be the remote server. There we go. Oh, but we got to give it a name, so let's call it remote server, and then it's going to be at 192.168.0.1. Okay, set target address, remote server. We've only got 2 more commands, so it's not worth going into the edit hierarchy. Target parameters. So got all sorts of parameters here. Hopefully they'll be specific with that in the test. Yeah, I really haven't spent a lot of time on memorization, so I'm really hoping there's no there's nothing that's meant to be just outright memorized. Okay, so now we're moving on to target parameters, so we'll call it my parameters, and we will go into edit mode for this one since we're going to have a lot of commands here. Set parameters, message processing model, definitely using v3, set parameters, security model, USM, user-based security model, parameters, security level, privacy, parameters, security name, my security. Okay, so hit up, there we go. Set notify filter, my filter, OID, oops, and yeah, they're gonna give me that in the exam, in the lab instructions. So I just need to read that carefully and enter it in properly, and it should be good. Notify traps tag type trap. Okay, so that feeling pretty good with that, but I think I am gonna hit the good button instead of the easy button because it really did kind of cause me a bit of a panic seeing that, so definitely want that to go away, and I want to feel really nice and confident that I can configure it. Oh, so it looks like the commit actually succeeded. I'm pretty surprised. Wasn't expecting that to happen. Okay, so we're hitting the good button. Alright, so now we've got infrastructure load balancing. You know what, let's go and do that. Let's see if we can do just this one more card, and then we will stop. So yep, this looks familiar to me. You define a policy, and then you apply it to the forwarding plane. So unfortunately, it looks like it's just being defined here. So it looks like these notes are incomplete. But I should be able to figure out how to apply it just from my own prior study. Okay, so we're going to call it load balance. We're going to set term 1, then load balance per packet. Okay, so now we're going to do set routing options, forwarding table, export, load balance. There we go. So I'm not sure why that was missing from the card. I think I am going to add it just for completeness sake. Perfect. Alright, so next step is going to be, so this is another thing we can do is in addition to routing options and applying a load balancer to the forwarding table so that it's on a per packet basis instead of, we do have some other options. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so we can do it random, we can do it based on the source IP, destination IP, or based on a consistent hash. But I'm sure they'll go with per packet. That's the most common one that I have seen. Shares hash key. Okay, if you're doing it per hash though, you would probably need these hash keys set up. Even without it though, you probably need it. I mean, hopefully the exam is very the exam instructions make it very clear. They don't do any Cisco speak kind of, because in Cisco exams, some people kind of consider Cisco exams a little bit unfair, because they actually will ask you to do something, but they'll ask you to do it in like special language to kind of test your understanding of it. So it's like they want you to learn the jargon as well as the actual concepts, which some people kind of think is a little bit unfair. But as far as I know, Juniper doesn't do that. It's just they're gonna tell you clearly what they want you to do, and not have you try to translate the question. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm not sure what to assign this one as. I guess I want to say that it was easy, especially since I was able to determine the forwarding table export. So I guess I'm okay with this. So yeah, let's hit easy on this one. I kind of am tempted to hit good just because it's not as easy as configuring SSH, and then I kind of forgot about the hash key options, and to be honest, I don't really know when they're going to be needed. So let's do a quick Google search on this and really kind of give a read to this command. Okay, so let's see here. Select which packet header data to use for per flow load balancing. Okay, so this actually comes alongside this command here. You've got to have both commands, because once you switch it to per packet, you've got to tell it which data to use to actually make the per packet decision. So you can use, I'm actually surprised that both of these can be enabled, because you would think it would be one or the other. But I guess, yeah. Or you would think like if it's going to read the layer 3 information, it would just never even get to the layer 4 information. So maybe it means like if it gets to the layer 4 information, use that instead of the layer 3 information. But I would think that in a lot of cases the layer 4 information wouldn't even be read. But let's look at the help for that. Okay, so it's just which information to include in the hash key. So you're going to have a hash key that consists of layer 3 information, layer 4 information, or both layer 3 and layer 4 information. Okay, so I feel pretty good with that. Let's just hit the good for that though. I would like to see this again. Okay, and that's going to be it for me for tonight. I just can't stay up this late. I'm surprised I'm this late. I'm up this late anyway. Usually I am to bed a lot earlier than this. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.